Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Happy Blizzcon weekend.
Is he really happy?
Some of it was.
That's a good
Some of it was
question,
great.
which we will get into here
Yeah.
in a little bit.
But first,
It's a hit and miss weekend.
Yeah.
Overall,
Hey,
the
you know
scale's
what?
way toward happy.
I had a pretty good weekend because Foxy was here all weekend, and I introduce her to games sometimes that she'll be like, okay, well, I'll try this out, and 6 hours later she's like, oh, what time is it, you guys? This week it was Tropico 4. After BlizzCon stuff,
Lord.
she's like, what have you been playing? Because I sat off to the side while the conference was on, and I played Tropico 4 in the side screen. And she's like, what are you playing? And I was like, it's a city builder. I'll let you try it out. Yeah, she's in love.
She's just now discovering
converted to
Tropico 4.
Mhm.
It's so
Spreading
good,
the
though.
good word. That's all.
Spreading the word of the dictator.
Well, and it's funny to watch. Foxy and I play games very differently, especially when it's building games, because she's very meticulous about decorations and where she puts things, and she's a planner, and I'm like, oh, here's like 16 apartment blocks with 30 garages. You can all just live there right on top of each other. I don't care. It's functional. Hers is form and function. Mine is purely function.
That's all that matters. Did they all survive? Do you succeed? That's
Right?
what matters.
Yes. So I did learn from her playing, though, how to kind of mitigate some of my traffic problems that I have in Tropico. So,
Give them roads.
well, I give them roads, but part of it is how dense I
'em
populate
sidewalks.
certain areas, like the downtown part of it where all the housing is, essentially. I have them too close together, so it causes a lot of traffic problems, but I want them to be in close proximity to wherever it is that I need them to go, which is part of the problem. I should just extend their drive time, and it helps the traffic. I
Fair
learned. That's what I
You're watching
played.
too much House Hunters on the backside of that. That's where you're like, I really want to live near where I work, but I really want to kind of live out in the country.
See,
You got the
Foxy
couple that's
plans
battling
that
back and
stuff.
forth.
Like, Foxy plans for all of those sorts of things. That is how she operates. So she's like, I'm going to put this district over here. And the fact that she's making districts versus me, who I'm like, here's all of the tourism. I'll just mix and match. She's like, I'm going to put the luxury tourism here. And then I'm going to put the lower class tourism here. And I'll let that flow into where my downtown is with all of my standard entertainment for just the townsfolk. And I'm like, I just put all that stuff together because they'll go to it. She's so meticulous about that. It's so interesting to watch her do those sorts of things, especially when it's a game that I've been playing for so long, and seeing somebody else play it differently is weird to me.
Meanwhile, the little guys inside of Tropico are like, holy shit, what's up with this organization? This is crazy. I can get to work wherever I want to. It's a little longer drive, but damn, look at this traffic. It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was like, all right then.
Great.
So she's gonna go home and put it on her wish list so she can buy it when it goes on sale.
The only thing I would think I'd have a problem with is the guys that couldn't afford to go to like the higher end luxury tourism shit. You show up and you go, what? You just separating us by class now?
But
What the fuck's up with that?
Is she is also much better about keeping an eye on how much people are making as far as wages go. She's much more fair about that. I'm like, my wages aren't in the red. They're good. Those people are making, like, the firemen are making, like, $5 an hour or something. I'm like, they're not
Poor
dying.
firemen.
It's okay. She's like, I think that they do a really hard job. Let me give them some more money. Like, so her people have a better chance of making it to the luxury tourism side that she's just created versus mine. We play that very differently.
yours, they just sit outside in their little low class looking at the luxury thing, going, well, we're all part of the same group, but I can't fucking go there. Meanwhile, their little kid sitting next to him, going, Daddy, like pulling on their coat, Daddy, can we go there? That would be great. It's my birthday. I want to be able to go there. No, son, sorry. Our dictator sucks.
Our griftator.
Yeah, our griftator sucks. Next thing you know, he's thrown in jail. Now he doesn't. Little Timmy doesn't have.
Then he
a
has
son,
to
a
work
dad
for the
anymore.
rest of his fucking life on a farm.
Chicken hates that about how I play Tropico. Okay, look, you get a choice with criminals in Tropico. You either build a prison where they will go be arrested, go be rehabilitated, go back out into the world, and do whatever.
become
Or
productive members of society.
Maybe. Sometimes the same people go back into jail. Okay?
How do
It's
you
just
know?
like-
Don't give me that shit. I have never seen you let people back out of prison.
Well, because with labor camps, you arrest them, they go and grow crops for you, and they live there for the rest of their lives.
My
they grow
point.
crops.
How the fuck do you know? You don't let people back out.
But then you're benefiting the rest of society by their crime.
Or they can go back out and work on an actual farm in freedom.
Or just, you know, be chained out in the fields.
Yeah.
They're not chained.
I kind of like the labor camp myself, but you know.
I think people who have no
I use
no
it for a
redeeming-
mechanical, like, because of the way that I usually build cities, I use that as a mechanical crutch, too, because with the farms, like, just the standard farms, you put them down, and the crops grow in random areas around the farm, so you don't know what shape your crop is about to take or anything. You put a labor camp down, and it is a square. It is going to be in that square, which means I can build things next to it. So I rely on labor camps until I get biofarms, because biofarms do come in a specific shape that I can kind of account for. So I don't have to worry about if I'm putting them too close to something else. They
So
won't be
she's
successful.
using it tactically, sir.
Yes, it's
I'm not
tactical.
convinced that she only sends criminals there either. Like, I'm pretty sure in the early game, she's like, I need farms. You people, get to jail. But we didn't do, I don't give a fuck. Get to jail, make me some crops.
But early game, you don't need that
You
many
spit on
farms,
the-
so I don't
the
worry about
sidewalk.
that side of it. So no, I don't.
So she says. Don't listen to her. Griff Tater's lie.
That's not true.
Griff Tater's lie.
What did you guys do this weekend as far as playing games go?
This past week we played on Halloween night. I was dressed up as Jack Sparrow and was playing Sea of Thieves.
That's
So
funny.
that was interesting. Sea of Thieves had a Halloween event, which they've still got going on for the next it'll be almost a week now by the time this is released. They've not done really anything in the game when it comes to a plot line. What they did was kind of like when they did the mermaids and stuff. It's more of a just go in and try to get achievements. You now can change the color of your lanterns,
Okay.
which is awesome.
But aren't there just different colored lanterns?
No. The light on the lantern's a different color now.
On your boat or like your hold up?
Yes, you can
Okay.
even change the color on your boat if you want to. And these are achievements, and basically it's done by how you die, which is an interesting way.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, if another pirate kills you, you get a pink one. So, and the way that works is on the ferry of the dam in the middle, there's this big lantern that's there, and you have to go over to the lantern, pull your lantern out, hold it up, hit a button, and when you hit the button, it switches that flame to yours. And then just like the thrones where you would go around and try to sit on the different thrones and stuff, there are lights that you can light up. So what we do is we change the color of the lanterns on our ship, so we don't have to die again or do anything like that in order to get these colors, and then we're just swapping the color of our lantern based on what we need to change that particular huge beacon to.
I see how that works.
And then and so it's fun, like, because we were like, well, how do we get the white one? Yeah, you have to die by lightning. So we're in the middle of a storm
Trying to get struck.
trying to get struck. It was some fun adventures. Like, we had a really good time the other night playing that, and we played it again Friday night, trying to get all the achievements and stuff done for it because we're having a good time. We ended up... We had these guys that I'm assuming had never been part of the game before, and we had forgotten to change the color of our ship.
Oops.
And so these guys came in, and they were completely in white cells, and they decided they were going to attack us. We were on a brig, and they were on a sloop. And one guy ends up... they end up ramming us. They end up coming on... One of them comes over the ship or whatever. They had already hit me once with a cannonball, so I was half dead. The guy comes on, hits me a couple times with a sword. I'm dead. We killed him. And then we end up using the cursed cannonballs on their sloop and destroying the shit out of them. And then they end up coming back. And when they came back, I ended up going onto their ship. We just sat there and spawn camped them so I could ram their ship into the shore because I was fucking tired of them. But my favorite was the guys were like, they're too fast. Y'all slow down so we can try to kill you. Slow down. Like they're yelling at us this random stuff. But really what pissed me off was when they dropped terms that I don't like to use and you shouldn't be using. Yeah, so that's the reason we were like, if we see them, we're going to kill them every time from now on. And I'm not a person that hunts people down like that. I'm like, you've learned your lesson, da-da-da-da. But if we saw them, we were going to kill them.
Certain lines were crossed.
Yeah, and so, yeah. But we had fun. It was a good time. And changing out the lanterns and stuff it can be entertaining just because Thursday night we had a guy that randomly came up to the ship because he's like parlay, let me come to your ship. We're like, okay. Of course, my chat lights up and everyone's like, don't trust him.
Yeah,
he's like,
don't trust pirates.
And we're like, he's like, do you want to create an alliance? It's like, yeah, we'll create an alliance or whatever. So he already had his thing up, so we went in and created the alliance. And he goes, okay, will you do me a favor? And he goes, yeah. And we're like, yeah. And he goes, will you go ahead and kill me so I can get the pink flame, and then I'll come back and kill one of you guys? And it was like, yeah, sure. So that's how we swapped up. And then because we're part of the alliance, some of the things we got credit for. If one of us did, the other one would get credit for it. So we just kind of went around the map doing stuff, and he was getting credit for
folks.
And it was funny though, because it was just a fun way to play the game. And I was like, I love this game because the guy was a pirate legend, and all he wanted to do was get the accommodations for it. Say that he unlocked all the stuff. So it's pretty neat. So that's pretty much all I did, I think. So definitely recommend the new stuff if you want different colored lights, but that's about it. Unfortunately, they don't stay. You have to make them happen, I think. So no big deal. So what games y'all been playing?
Yeah, you too.
We played Deceit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Devil's
that.
Night.
Yep.
Which is October 30th.
Candy.
For those people who don't know.
Unless people's petition have its way, in which case then it'll be the last Friday of every October.
Yeah, that.
That's Friday of every October. I like it.
Yeah, because they're wanting to change Halloween. People are wanting to change Halloween to the last Saturday of October, and I'm like, you realize it's an actual holiday on November the 1st, which is why Halloween is what it is, because it's called All Hallows Eve.
That's too complicated. We're just gonna change the day.
It's too inconvenient because they've got to rush home from work and dress their kids, and it's like, I mean,
sorry.
Yes, because they haven't been doing that since since I can remember and my parents can remember. I mean, come on, just excuses. We're too busy for Halloween.
The other part is like, well, they can't stay out late because it's a school night, and it's like, honestly, when it hits like 9 o'clock, anyways, people are done passing out candy anyways.
Yeah, pretty much. We had like a rule. It was like 8 o'clock. People turn off their porch lights and stop giving out candy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's fine, even on the weekends and whatnot. But some neighborhoods stayed up till like 11 or 12. So
that's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like 8 o'clock, you're done. Don't knock on my door after 8.
There was neighborhoods when I was little that did that, but I mean,
yeah. But other than Deceit, I've played some Heroes and Overwatch and Call of Duty. Typical stuff.
Same old.
Yeah, the Deceit, Overwatch, and then I've been playing on Super Nintendo.
Like a retro gaming over there.
Dude, I on Craigslist on my birthday weekend, I found someone was selling an old style CRT TV for $20.
And you were like, mine now.
Yeah, well, when you look online, like Amazon, eBay, stuff like that, people are selling them for $200-$300.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, good for you. I'm super proud that you found that, Mr. Bargain Hunter.
And yeah, I can play Duck Hunt too because the gun will not work on flat screen TVs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the old school guns they won't work. I've seen online that there's supposedly ones that will, like third party people have made, but I've never tested them, and I mean I don't need to now. So
you think you'd almost be able to find an attachment that just goes on the end of the gun, to change its reflection properties.
Huh. That's an interesting thing that I've learned today.
Today you learned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing the Mickey Mouse game.
Okay.
It's Magical Quest. It's actually a really good platformer. I think it's done by Capcom.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, retro gaming kind of brings us into some of the BlizzCon stuff. If you want to talk about that, or if you want to talk about the other news first, we can do that.
Let's talk the other news first, and then we'll get to the BlizzCon for the rest of the show.
Gotcha. Okay, what do you want to talk
Good
about
idea.
first then? Did you say bad idea?
I said good idea.
Oh, okay. I thought you said bad idea. I was like,
No.
okay.
No, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
That just reminded me of the Animaniacs cartoon short, the good idea, bad idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Some of those bad ideas look fun though. Anyway, what other news outside of BlizzCon do we have?
Well, if you want to go with retro gaming stuff, I guess it would be considered retro gaming stuff. It's
Oh,
modern
Lord.
gaming / retro at the same time. Nintendo Switch is finally, I say finally, has now outsold the GameCube for Nintendo.
I like the subtitle in the article. It's quite popular. You don't say.
You don't say.
Like,
So I'm proud of this. Like, I think they've got on here total units. The Wii U has sold it sold 13 million, I think 13.5 something million.
Yep, 13.56 million.
And so you've almost got twice as many Switches that have been sold as you have Wii U. So that's
what
pretty
about the
awesome.
original Wii though? Because that thing was like groundbreaking.
That's
as far as
101
itself.
million.
Yeah,
That's a little
good
different.
luck trying to catch up.
Versus
That was
22 million.
I remember when the Wii came out, like you couldn't find one anywhere at
Ever.
all.
Like,
yeah, because
I've
they were
almost
sold
two
out.
years.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was supposed to say
For
for
almost
2
two years too.
You couldn't fucking find one at all. That shit was like every time it would come in, it would be gone immediately.
Yep. Yeah.
And the main thing behind that happens to be, I think, is the fact that it was so groundbreaking at the
Yes.
time, and it was about the gameplay. And you would go into
Well, I think the price.
some
too.
restaurants, restaurants and stuff like that that had big screen TV would have a Wii attached to it, just so people would sit there and have something to play. I was like, yes.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that the Switch is outselling the Wii U for sure, but partly it's because we know that we need the Switch as it is a whole separate thing, whereas the Wii U, we're like, what is this, just an extra controller?
Yeah.
So,
Apparently.
good
Wii
job
U
on
was a
marketing
little ahead
this
of its
time. Wii U was, it's just they didn't
it just
market it.
evolved
We've talked about that.
Yeah, the Wii U just evolved into the Switch. I think this is what they were trying to go for to begin with. They just couldn't figure out how to make it so that you could just walk away with it and
Yeah.
keep going. So.
Glad they got there, though. So that's good.
Definitely.
Good job, Switch. Good job, Nintendo. Go
Yep.
team. What else?
Microsoft's concept for a smartphone controller.
I think the main problem is how many different kinds of smartphones we have, and the fact that they don't all have the same free real estate on the phones to put that controller. But they do have
Yeah.
a Bluetooth one, though. It's like totally just a Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
surprised
the
they just
Bluetooth
haven't
ones
had
are
one where you can
fine.
just plug it into it and play with it.
It's because of how many different ways things plug in. Like lightning
Oh, I
cables
guess
on
that's
this,
true.
regular USBs on this.
I think it's where you just have to do it the opposite, where the USB part is attached on the inside of the controller, where instead of, like
Yeah.
now we have the USB attached to our actual PCs, instead it would be the opposite way around, right? So
Yeah.
That could actually work.
I think the Bluetooth one will work fine. All of your phones have Bluetooth. So as long as you've
Yeah.
got a Bluetooth ready controller, then it should be fine. Although I will say, like, for tablets it makes sense to me. For actual, like, phones, the screen is so small that I would not enjoy playing games that I would need a controller for. And the fact that my controller peripheral is the same size as the screen I'm playing on just kills me. I can't do it.
I think this, to me, I think of this more as like a tablet type controller.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's what I
makes
think
more
of
sense to me,
more. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that uses it on the phone, but I think they're dumb for doing that. But
Yeah, I mean, it's so small.
Yeah.
you know, so. But wasn't it? What Nokia? Who came up? Somebody had one that was. It was NVIDIA, right? When there's very similar to that, the little console that they had, or portable
Yeah,
console thing.
Yeah.
the
Whenever-
where you, like set your phone into it or some shit and play, or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
But again, that was for a specific phone because we have so many different ones that, like, our LGs don't have the same free space that Oak's iPhone does, and you know.
It's kind of what we
well, even then, Mrs.
Beckon's
Trees
back to.
doesn't have as much free space as mine does because she's got the newest. The iPhone X is all screen. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you have a peripheral that will fit for all of them? Because that's the only way you can make it cost effective. It's not cost effective to make 30 different versions of the same peripheral because you have 30 different phones. And as we know, phone technology changes so quickly and people upgrade so quickly that you don't want to spend however much it would cost to get that peripheral, knowing that, you know, next year you're going to have to buy another one, or next month even. Some people upgrade super, super frequently.
Well, I was looking at it. Honestly, I thought it was kind of like one of those things where you kind of have it and then you can kind of open it up, like kind of stretch it out and then set your phone into it and then kind of clamp it back. Thought that's how it worked, but I guess it's not.
But
it just kind
like
of separates.
with Mrs. Tree's phone though, if that was the case, clamping it onto the screen is difficult to kind of try to do that because hers is all screen, whereas like Oak's is not. It has the bars on the side, so how far does it clamp on?
Right. Like, she actually might have better control over whatever than I would because of the way it attaches, you know? Or vice versa. It'd just be weird. I get more screen coverage. I can see more of the screen, but she has better attachment. But it's going to be weird.
Yeah. I think the best way to do it is just have a single controller that's Bluetooth capable. I think that's going to be your best bet. Then you can swap it from phone to phone. Anything else on that one?
No,
that's good.
I mean, there was not much to that one.
Yeah, that one was kind of
It's a concept for a smartphone controller.
Yeah.
Strange. Very, very strange.
What else we got?
I find this one interesting. Assassin's Creed Odyssey's second live Epic Mercenary event has also been canceled. So I assume that they're trying to do like live event style things where like a live service game where they kind of do events in game for everybody to play with, but
it was dependent on a specific NPC, so it almost seems like it's Destiny's Xur, who shows up, once a week or something like that, gives you an opportunity to buy these things, which in this case would be contracts, and then goes away again.
But doing that in a single player game is rough because you have to make sure that it applies to every single copy of the game that is online. Instead of just being like, I put this guy on the server. He's there for everybody who's playing the game now. Instead of, I have to make sure this guy activates in the files of every single copy of this game that is running
for a limited
online.
time and then goes away again properly. And I see that that's a lot of setup and everything, but they've been able to implement things like that because it's an Ubisoft game. So that's also The Division. So they've implemented similar things in The Division. I guess, but that's what I'm wondering is like, how different is it to swap that between an online game with multiplayer versus an online game that is single player? It just still seems like the technology would be similar enough that it shouldn't be terribly difficult, especially with as long as they've been working on Odyssey. Theoretically.
Well, the way I like to look at it is it's like you have one giant island that everybody plays on, or a million islands that has one person on each one of them.
Right.
You got to make sure that NPC shows up on all of those islands instead of just showing up on that one island.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you do that with literally every other part of the game, or any DLC content that you add to that game, because DLC content is the same thing. It's just now it is active in these
permanently
copies.
Though DLC is permanent. Like you add it to it, you don't gotta worry about taking it in or managing the time limit or making it appear or making it not appear. And if it doesn't work for a certain person, oh well. I mean, you can work it out with customer support. But if they miss out, like if this doesn't work for them, well then that sucks. You got to wait till the event starts over.
They had evidently an epic ship event that was also successful. My favorite line in this is, for starters, it actually occurred. But evidently it was successful. I'm wondering how that's set up. Like if they're doing that live event, if they're adding a patch in it or making that happen, or if it's already set up in the game, like Grif was talking about with the DLC stuff. Is because I'm going back to the original Xbox, there were certain games that if you went on the original Xbox and you logged in on a certain day, then there were elements in the game itself that would change. So if you were Christmas Day, there would be something in the game that would change or be done, or you can actually change the date on your Xbox and make that happen.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if it's already set into the system and it's set up on whatever their online calendar is, and and then that's how it works. But it's already part of the game itself. It has already been patched in way beforehand. So I'd be interested to see on that one. But I guess good luck trying to get it to work, Ubisoft. And this is a little strange to do in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of them trying to see if they can make live services in a single player, like they do for the Division when events happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting. Regardless. In other news, everybody knows that they've had the Fallout 76 beta going on these last couple of weeks. And apparently people have found that there is a built-in speed hack in the game that you can do freely. If you unlock disable VSync and unlock the frame rate, you can actually move faster than anybody else.
First of all, you should already have VSync disabled, so...
Yes, definitely.
Unlocking the frame rate, though, that is a direct control to your character's speed is hilarious to me. I mean, I'm sure they're going to fix it, so good thing this is beta test, but...
Yeah.
That's what beta test is for. Yeah. But I have absolutely no interest in this game now.
Why? What changed it for you?
There's no NPCs at all in the game. None.
None?
None.
I thought there were.
None. I just read an article on it the other day, and I was like, are you kidding me? No NPCs? So, you still have... I'm like, that's just... No.
I mean, I guess you've got, the raider NPCs, the actual enemy NPCs, but no... ones you can just talk to or whatever?
Yeah, I guess not the ones where you would go buy something from or whatever. I guess none of those exist. Have an actual communication with, talk.
That sucks.
So, and I don't know if it's because it's the beta or what. I'm interested.
Well, I wonder
right
too
now, I'm not
if it's
interested.
because they took them out because people could kill them. Because in Fallout, all the NPCs you can kill, all of your companions or whatever. In Fallout 4, you could just turn on them and kill them. So maybe they just figured that people would get upset if there were griefers on their server that killed them, or just not even griefers, but people that aggroed them on accident and killed them, and other people didn't have access to them, and it would cause a problem in the long run, maybe?
Yeah, but I'm just interested to see how that environment's supposed to be then.
Just put them on a respawn timer, I guess?
Well, I mean, that would be theoretically what you want to do.
Or just give them invincibility.
Yeah.
That's
just
true.
make it so they can't be killed
that
by
one
PC.
time you figure out how to aggro the guy that's invincible.
And then he beats your ass.
He kills the entire server.
Because he got aggroed by one dude.
He gets mad. He's the one that finds all the codes, ends up nuking somebody. Oh, wow.
They've got to reset the servers just to stop them.
Yeah, like the good old days of WoW Classic.
Yep.
Too funny.
Apparently there's a bug that deletes 50 gigs worth of data, so it basically deletes your game, too. What an interesting bug. That would be fun. Just playing along, and all of a sudden the game fucking deletes itself. You're like, I know I was bad, but bad enough to uninstall.
You're like, you know, with self-esteem issues because the game deleted itself.
Right? You're like, oh no, I can't play games anymore. I'm just too bad. The game even said I was too bad. I can't.
It's bad enough as is. A lot of gamers, we have self-esteem issues in one way or another anyway. That's really bad.
Grif could never play Steel Battalion then.
This is an uninstall.
If you don't eject it, it'll delete your game.
Okay. Not playing that.
Wow.
But Steel Battalion's also the one that you had to have like the full cockpit setup too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's the one that I brought here.
Yeah, that's too much stuff.
They have, and they have it at PAX. They have an entire class to where you can learn how to play the game.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep.
I mean, I guess
awesome.
if it's gonna delete itself, you should probably know what you're doing before you get started. I guess.
Well, they try to do a Steel
few
Battalion on
deletes.
Yeah,
Took you a few deletes to figure that out. What the fuck keeps happening?
No, I knew about the delete thing because I played it at a friend's house and didn't hit the eject button fast enough. That's how I learned about it.
Wait, you have to hit it at a certain time?
When your mech is going down and you have to eject out of it, or it kills the pilot, which is you, so you're dead.
So you're
Unless
so it's
you
permadeath.
Yeah. I mean, if you hit eject, you can buy a new mech and you can keep going through the game, but you don't hit that button.
Nope. I'm out. I can't do that one.
So a tank simulator with permadeath.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Glad I never played that game.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough game. I played a little bit, and that thing was something else.
I might play it at PAX one time just to say I've learned to work the controls.
The ones at like PAX and stuff, I think that's Mech Warrior. It's a different game.
The one with Steel Battalion.
Really?
They're West.
Baka's now planning a PAX trip just for Steel Battalion.
They actually have a person that has to teach the class. Just saying. And that person gets into PAX for free.
Yeah, Baka, maybe you should apply.
Yeah.
That would be
You
fun.
need to pull it out and practice more.
There you go.
What else we got?
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has the microtransactions out now.
Okay.
Some people are not.
thing.
Some people are pretty upset with it, but I mean, I it's just to pay to unlock all of the
It's just
cosmetic
Fortnite.
updates.
Some of it is not, though.
guess.
Some of it is to help you with grinds for challenges. Did you read that part? You can spend your way through the black market tiers, which is a point of contention, because it's basically a progression thing that's already a grind, and now knowing that you can pay your way through it makes it more understandable as to why it's a grind, because they want you to pay to go through it.
Or just play or don't care about it.
Because if you wanted
I
to
don't
pay your
care
way
about
through it, well, some of it, apparently the black market tiers are a timed thing, according to the article, because I'm not playing COD, so I don't know.
Yeah, like
But
the Halloween one is.
Yeah,
is
it's
timed.
so if you wanted to get all of the tiers out of it, you have to dedicate serious time in order to get through all of the tiers, or you could pay for it, which according to this, if you wanted to pay your way through the fastest, cheapest way that you could do it, it's still going to cost you $130. So
I mean, I stand by the fact that
130 euro.
events are temporary. I mean, WoW events are temporary. Hearthstone events are temporary. Heroes events are temporary. Overwatch events.
Fortnite does seasons, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like either you're going to play, if you want those, play the game, get it.
special orders
If not,
are another one.
yeah. So I mean, if you want it that bad, go ahead and pay it. I mean,
Speaking of which, there was a Fortnite event today just before we started too. That it's a butterfly event. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Big cube was in the middle. Everything exploded. Everything went white. They're floating through the air. Everybody's floating through the air that went to watch it. And then this big butterfly pops up, gets onto you. Everybody drops it. Everybody was being nice before the event happened. Then once the event happened, everybody landed. Everybody starts shooting the shit out of everybody. Like every video I've seen of it, it looks exactly the same. Everybody fucking goes nuts afterwards. All right, now we go back and shoot everybody. What it added to the game, I don't have a fucking clue. But I can tell you right now, it happened. So more microtransactions for that game too.
I will say the picture, one of the pictures in this article has the tactical unicorn gun for the Call of Duty game.
Let me tell you right now, I saw that one.
That's funny.
I want it. I want that shit.
That's funny. Although I do, looking at the comments, that seems like the largest complaint that people have is that Activision waited until all of the reviews for the game were out before they released the microtransactions. I kind of understand where they're coming from on that. You want to be able to factor in what you can pay for in part of the reviews as well, and it would have been nice to have that information before the reviews were complete. I get their contention on that.
I feel like I either read an article on it or it was something that pops up on the screen that when the black market was going to open and they were going to have this available.
Yeah.
That it said something that they didn't have it included because they didn't want to make the game about that. They wanted to make the game about having to be able to go through and play and everybody feel like they're succeeding. Because it's we're 3 weeks in now. Isn't that right? Since the game came out.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think we're like 1 month in.
So
yeah.
and I feel like it's that, and I'm not a defender of them because I've not liked any fucking thing they've done up until this point for a long time.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they did kind of tell everybody ahead of time that's what was going to be.
Well,
now,
that
whether
there
that
were
was
going to
reason
be
or not, I don't know.
microtransactions. I guess.
I mean, I feel like this is fine. Like if it's in an event and you really fucking want that shit, go ahead and buy it. I mean, look at Overwatch. Overwatch is so much worse in that respect because you don't unless you have the coins, you can't buy what you want.
Yes,
you're just kind of
so
SOL.
irritating to me.
Yeah, so I mean, at least in this, if you're so fucking dedicated that you need that Halloween stuff, just fucking buy it if you're that fucking desperate. Otherwise, just play the game. Like I think I'm like level 3. I'm tier 3 in that, and I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck about the tactical unicorn. I don't give a damn thing about the fucking emotes or the sprays or any of that.
Well, they got one emote's really cool on the Halloween one, though. Like the one that the skull comes out. He has like a skull in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's really neat, but I mean, I'm not going to pay for it.
Oh, I'm not going to pay for it, but I'll play if I get up to that point. That'd be cool.
Hell
and
yeah.
I think that's a low one. I think it's 12 for it.
Yeah, so I mean...
But if you're getting up to 105, you're playing a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
Shit ton. If you're up to 105. Or just really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to see if they evolve at all or whatever, but for the most part, it really doesn't bother me that they're in there because I don't think it's going to affect my gameplay. Because it's just all...
Cosmetics.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, it's when they come up with a new skin with Fortnite or any of these other games, people are like, "Oh, I want to spend money," and it's like, and what's funny to me is people have put more money in Fortnite than Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has cost them total, and they probably will continue to put more money in that than it will because V-Bucks or whatever they're called in frickin' Fortnite,
V-Bucks,
they don't go very far at all, at all. Because it's like, I think it's $24 for 2,000 of them or something like that. And like one outfit's like 1,000.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't go far at all. I mean, you're going to spend $10, $15 on whatever your outfit is. So every time you see one of those on a screen, there you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, now that we're like 38 minutes in, you guys want to talk about BlizzCon for like the next hour?
Yes.
First thing. So if you have the BattleNet client, go get Destiny 2 for free till November 18th.
It's just the base game.
Just the base game. And if you like it that much, you could buy the DLC. But
yeah.
I
might try out the base game, but I'm probably not going to spend any money on the game itself. I just, one, don't have the time to dedicate to it, and two, it's just... you have to have groups and stuff, and I know that we know a handful of people, high no pants, that play that game pretty regularly, but it's not enough to be a full group, and it's not enough to want me to dedicate the time to it. But it's free until the 8th if you are on BattleNet.
18th.
So 18th, sorry, I thought it was the 8th.
Nope, to the 18th. So get it. It's free, people. Why wouldn't you get Destiny 2 for free?
Test it out.
It only takes a couple days to play through the original plotline, even if that.
There you go.
So.
Yep. So make sure you hit that up, check it out, get it for free, all that shit.
And I gotta agree with some of the comments, which is like they got so much right with Destiny 2, but it was so barren of content in the first part of it because they wanted to do the same thing they did with the last Destiny, which is here's the base game that has nothing. We will fill it in for you. Buy all of the DLC to fill it in. Like.
Well, it feels a lot like the whole Sea of Thieves thing, where everybody is like, it's an ocean, but it's only like an inch thick.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, but give them time, they'll fill it in.
But the thing is Sea of Thieves is doing that for free, whereas Destiny still wants you to pay for all of the content. So they want you to buy the game and then
pay for the DLC
for all
afterwards.
of the content.
Yeah.
And I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so if you're on BattleNet, pick that up. That's cool. What else we want to talk? There's so many things to discuss from BlizzCon.
Well, WoW Classic will be summer of next year.
During the summer, while we're busiest, is when it comes out.
I'm hoping it comes out late summer, towards September summer.
That's fine. I'll get the jump start on some grinding.
Yeah.
Oof, nothing but grinding.
I will share an interesting anecdotal story about this, because like I mentioned at the start of the show, Foxy was here for the weekend, and Foxy played vanilla. Like she's been playing since vanilla. She's been hardcore raider. She's done all of that stuff vanilla to present. So she has a lot of time invested in this. She knows what vanilla is like. She was there. She did it. And when she first got to my house on Friday, or our house, Chicken and I were talking about vanilla because BlizzCon had already started. and they had already made a couple of announcements about it. And we were talking about it, and she was like, I just don't see the point. I mean, people are looking at this with such rose-colored glasses. They're going to want to play it for like 5 minutes, and then they're going to remember that it sucked, and then they're going to not want to play it at all, blah, 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 blah. And we actually had kind of a
debate.
Yeah, it was like a heated debate about it, because Chicken and I are very much on the side of it's nostalgia is part of it. We want to go back and experience things that we experienced in vanilla. We want to have that kind of different gameplay.
The community to be real.
My thought process of it sucked. Why are you still playing this game if the original sucked and she started there?
Because of where it's come from versus what it is now, where they've streamlined so much of it. She's not saying that the original game was terrible. It's just compared to what we have now, why would you want to regress is her thought process on it. And so we had that heated discussion, and then we watched the panel about it, where they were talking about how they were working with the old servers and how they had found, patch 1.12, and that's what they were working.
It was a backup of a backup hidden in the archival studio of Blizzard. Like, they had no idea it was there. They just got lucky and happened to find it.
But they were,
which is incredible.
We were sitting here on the couch watching this and watching them discuss it, and then Chicken starts talking about, because he was a raider in vanilla, starts talking about some of the things that he remembers, and Foxy's like, oh yeah, I remember this thing, and if this thing, and this thing, and she played Paladin, which means she was a healer because they had a heal button, and that's how it worked, and so she's talking about all of these anecdotal things about her first experiences with vanilla, and he's talking about his, and we're kind of just back and forth about all of these great old things. And by the time the panel was over, she's like, okay, well, my guild's probably going to roll on the vanilla servers, and then you guys can just join us, and we'll only have to pick up a few more to do 40-man raids, so we'll already have things ready to go. Like, she's already planning things out. She's like, do you guys want me to roll a paladin or a priest? Or I'm like, see? You showed up here 24 hours ago, totally thinking that it was just a throwaway. You didn't understand why anybody would want to play it. You talked to somebody that played vanilla at the same time that you played vanilla. You remembered why you liked it. Now you're ready to go.
So I'm just wondering, like, if that thought process was, like, legitimately because that's the way she was thinking ahead of time, or it was because she had a discussion with somebody that felt the same way, and she was leaning that direction, and so therefore she was talking to that person. They were like, "Oh, this is garbage," da da da, and that person convinced her. And then,
legitimately, Foxy, like when they first announced that they were gonna actually do Classic last year, Chicken was like, "Yes," because she was here. This is like an annual tradition for us, so she was here for that last year too. At that point, she was like, "I just think that's stupid." Like that. This has been her year opinion of it, which is people are looking at it with rose-colored glasses. It's not going to be what they want it to be. They're going to get in. It's going to be hard, and they're not going to like it because it's hard. And
so some people are going to like it.
Well, we had to make that argument to her, which is basically some people do like that intense grind to make that little bit of progress in things like MMOs like that. Like there are things like Black Desert Online that is just super grind. It is an MMO.
Korean MMOs are nothing but grind.
And there are some people that really enjoy that kind of gameplay and that kind of challenge that you set up for yourself and that kind of like endurance test almost. And just because, you have easy access, like one of her points was, we have flight points like everywhere now, or I can just jump on my mount and fly to where I want to go. I think that it's stupid that, the Hearthstone has an hour cooldown in vanilla, and you have to wait so long to use it, or else you have to fly to all these flight points to get to where you want to go, and it takes forever. Well, yeah, but some people like that kind of realism to it. I mean, that's why people play Red Dead Redemption right now, is because of that, like, level of added realism where you have to do a bunch of extraneous essentially bullshit tasks that you'd have to do in real life that are just time consuming, but it adds realism.
But it's not putting on mascara or changing a baby's diaper.
Thankfully. And WoW, it's more like, do I want to put something in the mailbox and it's going to take an hour to get to whoever I'm trying to mail it to, or do I want to spend the 15 minutes to take all of these flight points to get to where they are, have them make it, and then go back about my business?
Yeah, they are adding as much authenticity to the WoW Classic server as they possibly can. Like anything that even remotely affects gameplay in any sort of form is going to be original style.
Yes, there will be no, like right now in the demo, you can hit up looking for raid, but it doesn't do anything. It's because they're running it on their current framework, but they're running the old package essentially, so
the
you can
original
get to
source
some of
code on the new framework.
You can get to some things that are current, but you can't use them because they're not meant to be there, and they will be taken out before it launches this coming summer. So don't worry if you're playing the demo and you are seeing new features. Those features will go away for the most part. Although some of it, like quality of life stuff, they're talking about just leaving some things and not
like
others.
The auto looting the mailbox, like when you loot a mail, like loot mail, it'll take everything out of it instead of having to click everything
individually.
Once.
Yeah, it's just there's some things that don't affect actual gameplay. They're gonna kind of ferret through it and see what they're gonna leave in for current stuff and what they're gonna take out. The mailbox thing they're gonna leave, but other stuff,
taking an hour for mail,
that's gonna still be there.
And the most incredible, because Ian was up there talking. He's one of the game directors for a while. He was up there talking about how the 16 debuff limit, like how old it is, and if they had the technology back then, they would have upped the cap and things like this. And it's like, yeah, and we definitely want to,
but that's not
up
vanilla.
the cap, but we're not going to because of how it was back then, because of what could change with the gameplay. Because if warlocks, if you could apply more than 16 damage over times or debuffs to a target, then it would completely change the meta of the original game. So they're like, well, we have the technology, we can, but we're not going to alter the way the game was played back then. So you're stuck.
I guess you could do a special event. Like, just do a one-day event where everything changes for one day.
Nah, I don't think that would take a lot of work to try to put that kind of event together. And I think once they strip those features out, they're just going to leave them stripped out. Yeah, and they have a content release plan, too. So you won't just be playing, all the way, everything's already open, all the way up to Burning Crusade. They're still going to meter out content.
Yeah, they're staggering out content as it comes out.
Yes, which is good. I mean, you'll still be able to get to cap level. Not that you'll make it there in the first couple of days.
First couple of weeks.
I mean, like, when the new expansions come out for current Blizzard, we do the streams. And we'll stream for 24 hours, and we'll hit cap level. I mean,
that shit ain't happening in vanilla.
But yeah, that's not gonna... You could do a 24-hour stream and be, like, maybe level 6. It'd probably be like 10.
You can hit 20 fairly quickly. Then once you hit 20, then it starts taking forever.
Yeah, like that 20 grind, that 20 to 30 is forever. That 30 to 40 is even longer, and then it gets even longer as you get to higher 60. Up there.
Yep, and 60 is cap level because that's where vanilla ended up at, and all of that stuff. You'll still have to buy. You'll have to go to your class trainers and buy your skills, which you will probably not be able to buy all of your level appropriate skills because money. So get ready for that. It's gonna grind out.
I'm taking skinning early and leather working and leveling it all while I'm going again and selling extras for.
Good luck on having extras.
Oh, the auction houses are not linked at all. Every auction house is
server-specific, just like it used to be.
Server-specific and separate. Stormwind auction house, Ironforge auction house, Neutral auction house. Like, every auction house is itself.
Those are the only ones for the Alliance. You'd either go to Stormwind or Ironforge for your auction housing.
Or Booty Bay.
And then Booty Bay if you want to do the neutral one. And then the Horde will have Orgrimmar and Undercity.
Undercity.
Ratchet had a auction house.
Yep, Ratchet too.
Oh, yep. So there's a lot of exciting stuff about Classic that we know now, and it's looking super great.
Yes.
So if you're planning on rolling on a Classic server and you want to roll with us, just let us know and we'll try to figure out what server we're going to roll on and go from there. It's going to be super great, you guys. Obviously, we're super pumped about it. As far as retail Blizzard goes, the current stuff, they announced some heritage armor for the trolls and the gnomes, I believe, are getting heritage armor sets. Okay, bye. And
you mentioned gnomes.
Yeah, I mentioned gnomes and he has to leave. But there's an event that's coming up in retail that's going to be specifically for gnomes and goblins. They'll be opening a vault and things like that. So we'll see a lot about them coming together, I guess, to work, even though goblins I wouldn't trust. But whatevs, you do you. That will make a new arena. There will be... I can't remember what it's called. Megatron?
Megatron?
It's something I can't remember what it's called.
It's the Transformer version of the game.
Yes.
Mechanome?
Yeah, Mechanome. So, which the interesting thing that we're going to reclaim that for these half gnome, half mechanical people. I don't understand why they think that we're capable of reclaiming their home city when we've been trying to reclaim Gnomeregan since vanilla, and we still can't do it. Why do you think that we can help you? We can't help ourselves.
Well, we reclaimed part of it.
Yeah, part of it. But I mean, like, how long is it going to take us to do this? Jesus.
4 more expansions. You'll be good.
Yeah. So that was all the WoW stuff for the most part.
Well, one of the things that I was excited about along the lines of Warcraft is Warcraft 3. The remastered version of Warcraft 3 is finally coming out. And it's also set for 2019. They didn't tell us exactly when, but it is in 2019.
Blizzard doesn't like to give exact dates.
I know, right? Which is good on their part. To be fair, we talked about this about Bethesda last week. We'd say the same thing about this one. They're calling it Warcraft 3 Reforged, which I think is perfect for this. It's a very, very good way of spinning that. They've remastered the maps, campaign levels, upgraded the UI and the world editor, and also it's got 4K resolution support. So they've completely modernized it. I think this is a great way of doing it. And I'm very interested to see... because the gameplay's been changed a little bit, I believe. So I want to see how that works as well. That might be modernized as well. Modernized. I mean, it is. I don't know how much you modernize an RTS style game like that, but it's still modernized.
I'm glad that they're doing that, though. I think there's a void in the RTS world right now. And I think that there are people that want that to be filled. And I get it that this is a remaster, so it's a game that already exists. But I think that it will fill that hole for right now.
Right.
Which may mean that they're considering doing a Warcraft 4 or another RTS altogether. And this is testing the waters for how that's going to go. Which I'm all about. I mean, if they want to do a new IP RTS, cool.
It looks like it's going to be $30 too. So it's pretty awesome.
RTS in the Overwatch world.
I'd play it. Well, no. I'm terrible at RTSs. I would watch you guys play it. I'm just terrible at RTS.
That'd be neat, and it'd let them fill in more story stuff. So.
It would. But that is what that is. There's a new...
Awesome.
Go ahead.
New hero in Overwatch.
Yes, there is a new hero in Overwatch. I'm super excited and also super nervous about it because she's contributing to the power creep, but she looks really cool. Her name is Ashe. She is Jesse McCree's ex-girlfriend / member of the Deadlock Gang, and she's sassy.
She's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
she is.
I'm interested to see how that plays out. I can't wait to hear some of their back and forth banter in game. So that's gonna be so good. She's being voiced by Jennifer Hale, who is amazing too. Jenny Hale if you've played Mass Effect and you played Female Shepherd. You know her. You probably know her from way more than that, but that's probably the most common thread. But Ashe she's gonna be so strong. If you haven't seen the short for it, it's an amazing short to start with. I love McCree. Matt Mercer was perfect for that role. But she has a robot named Bob, which honestly I just want Bob to be a character so that I could play him. But Bob is part of Ashe's kit as an ult. She's got a close range shot, a long range shot. She's got dynamite that does damage over time. She's largely meant, as Chicken pointed out before the show, and I hate that he's not here to kind of tell this himself, but she's meant to be a shield buster. Because shield comps are bigs right now. You got Reinhardt, Orisa, and Brigitte all have shields, so you can protect your squishies way better with that shield comp, and it's hard to deal with them. She's meant to deal with that, especially with her ult, but it's so strong. Her ult is Bob. She says, Bob, do something. He jumps in ahead of her, and then essentially acts as like a charger from Left 4 Dead, where he just runs until he hits either a wall or a target, does a knock-up, and then turns into a stationary turret with a bunch of health. So, because he turns around and starts shooting at people, and you have to try to bust down his health on that. So
it will be interesting to see how many plays of the game Bob creates.
He's He's gonna be so strong. So strong. He is part of the power creep that's happening right now. He's gonna be OP. I think they said that she's hitting PTR on Monday, I think is what Chicken said. Is that right?
Yeah,
No, you're back.
Monday.
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
But she's coming to PTR, so I guess we're going to start hearing about her as soon as tomorrow. And then who knows how long it'll be until they release her, but probably not that long. Hammond wasn't on PTR for very long before he was launched. I think it was like
they
a couple
only announce
weeks.
them once they're ready and they're done. So.
Yeah, so they'll be play testing, and then she'll be out, and we'll get to see what she's like.
Hopefully they fix any issues that are a little OP, but Bob sounds pretty OP to me.
Hamsters.
What's the first B in Bob? I know it's Omnic Butler. It's best Omnic Butler?
Sure.
Beautiful. We'll go with beautiful. Sounds
It's
good to me.
something.
He's got
It's
a nice
actually-
hat and a mustache.
They're brutal.
No. Damn.
Best.
They kept saying it, but basically they were like, what kind of name do you give to the best Omnic Butler? Oh, Bob. Bob.
Yep.
Omnic Butler.
He's super cute. Bob, do something.
There has to be a skin where he's dressed up as a fry cook. The hat has to be.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Don't let me forget. We need to talk about the Heroes of the Storm new character and the skin that Leoric is getting, because that's funny. But I just don't want to forget about that. But Ash is gonna be something else. Show. So
She's gonna be strong. She's the 29th.
and she can do. You know how back in Halo we used to do grenade jumps and rocket launcher jumps? Yeah, she's got that ability.
But it's with a shotgun.
Yeah, it's with
Yeah,
a
the
shotgun.
shotgun jump. Yeah, that thing is so cool looking.
She's gonna have a high skill cap, I believe. She's gonna be difficult to play proficiently, but if you can play her proficiently, she will be incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, even it says right there, she's described as a super high mechanical skill character. Like, she is going to have a very high skill ceiling.
Which may work
That'd
out
be fun.
best for me, because apparently I am not very good at simple characters, but I am better at characters that are supposed to be very difficult. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. You don't play Widowmaker too often.
No, but I've gotten better with Hanzo. I have made marked improvements with Hanzo in the past month. So
I like watching your reaction when we were watching Overwatch World Cup, and some of the Widowmakers and that are just like,
oh my god, I hated them instantly. We watched a lot of the competitive stuff, by the way, and I watched competitive arenas for World of Warcraft and picked out a team that I just hated because they kept talking about this one guy on the team and they made it seem like he was the only person on the 3-man team. They won. They
won the
took
whole
everything.
thing.
I was so mad. I was like, screw you, Sidhu. I don't know what your story is, but I don't like your face. I hope you lose. He won everything. I hate them. Method Orange. Screw you guys.
Funny.
So Ash is cool. She's coming out. Chicken, I didn't see an article for this, but we definitely need to talk about the Overwatch character, whose name I can't remember. Starts with an O. She has a coffin on her back. She looks kind of like Annie from League
Heroes?
of Legends. Yeah, Heroes of the Storm.
oh yeah, Orphea.
So the
Orphea.
Raven Lord's daughter.
Yeah.
Orphea.
She's gonna be OP too.
She's OP as fuck. Holy
Blizzard's like,
shit.
here are 2 new characters for 2 of our games. They're completely broken. Enjoy that. Also,
Orphea is
if you
gonna be
had
ridiculous.
the virtual ticket for BlizzCon or you went to BlizzCon, you will be getting Orphea in your Heroes games for free. So,
We can't wait to be OP with her.
yeah. But they announced her. She looks really cool. Chicken, do you remember her kit? Because you didn't put out the article, and I don't remember much about her aside from that's OP because she's got like a pet chompy worm lizard.
Well,
thing.
they went over
That's
it.
shocking.
They went over it. That thing is actually the physical manifestation of her feelings.
Oh,
The relic that she carries on her back is a Ravenlord's relic from her family, and it manifests the carrier's deepest desires, like the feelings of the person that wields it.
the relic looks like a
She's-
coffin, by the way. It's pretty
Yeah.
badass.
It's a giant fucking coffin she carries around, which is neat
Yeah.
as hell. But her Q is a line skill shot that does damage, and then afterwards, your next movement will be a dash. So she slams, and then she can dash. Slam and dash. If you hit somebody, the cooldown is reduced. So you could slam, dash, slam, dash, slam, dash. Just keep kiting. Pretty
Ugh,
crazy.
she gonna be so strong.
Yeah, her W is a half circle in front of her. It's a chomp, and it comes out of the ground and just kind of slams down in front of her and eats people.
Yeah, it's like a big chompy thing.
How'd that go again?
It's a
Chompy thing. Her E is a line skill shot where at the end, depending on how far you put it out, it creates a little pool at the end, which does damage after it pops up. So it stuns, I think. I think it stuns. Something like that. I think it stuns at the end. And then her 2 ults. One ult is fucking broken as fuck. I don't even understand why they thought this was okay. But basically, it's a large AoE pool that the monster thing keeps jumping and hitting the heroes in it until either they move out of it or all the heroes in it are dead.
Yeah.
So it just keeps slamming down, doing damage until
strong.
Everybody's dead or they get out of it.
So if you get Zarya to do the gravity thing.
Exactly.
Surge, yeah.
Or Leoric, and put them in the fucking tomb and throw that on top of it. They just keep slamming on them until they're dead.
It's
like a fucking
combine that with Cassia's ult where it bounces infinitely.
Yeah, like that's fucked up. I was gonna say it's like a lot like Cassia's.
We watched a lot of the Heroes competitions as well. Congratulations to Gen G for taking that one. Big surprise, but
Tournament favorites.
Yeah, they were favored to win. They were gonna win. Gen G did some work though. Good job, guys. Sorry, Dignitas. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. And with the skins, they also showed off that she will have a high school themed skin, the new character, where her relic on her back is not a coffin, it is a locker. She's got like cutesy stuff. But the best part about that package is that it is Leoric is also going to get a high school themed thing, but he's not in high school. This big scary skeleton king is the janitor. His big giant weapon is a mop. He, like, when he does the tomb thing that Chicken was talking about, it's like the bathrooms that he has to clean. And it's so cute and funny. I just, like, I'm sold. I'm not great with Leoric, but I like to play him, and that makes it better for me.
Leoric is, that janitor skin is absolutely awesome.
And it's so funny. So funny. And the short that went with it was really cute, too. So
yes.
Blizzard does amazing things with their shorts. Even if you're not playing their games, go watch their material because it's so good. The WoW stuff was good. The Overwatch one was fantastic. I just need...
Yeah, their cinematic crew is great.
I need an Overwatch movie that's made by that cinematic crew. That's all I need in my life. What else we got from there?
The last thing is the one that's probably going to take some fun discussion.
Wow, everybody's cameras just...
Oh, that was weird.
That was weird. Okay, so that was Skype, not...
Yeah, that was definitely Skype. I'm glad that it all put
Sorry
everybody
for that.
back in the right place. Good job. Sorry if you're watching on YouTube. It was a momentary weird thing. Yeah, so... Yeah, that's a thing that's happening. The biggest thing that caused the biggest backlash, which you've probably heard about it if you are in the gaming news stratosphere at all at this point, is that at BlizzCon, they announced Diablo Immortal, which is a mobile game. It's a mobile Diablo game. After hyping up the fact that they were going to have Diablo announcements, theoretically plural, and that this was the year of Diablo because there wasn't much from last year, all we got out of it was a mobile game. It was not a good time for those devs.
And that's the last thing, like, we had this discussion ahead of time because because I'm one of those people that I try to play devil's advocate on some of it and weigh things out. And I understand the passion that goes along with all this, but when you start talking about and think about it, okay, first of all, you've got, as Grif pointed out to us before the show started, you got a shit-ass company that's making the game that's on there.
It's being made by NetEase, so do not think that Blizzard is developing this from the ground up. They are not.
Yeah. Well, but that it's not unusual nowadays to outsource those things out. All the major companies nowadays do that.
No, I don't have a problem.
Pokemon
I have...
Go.
Yeah, you usually go to a company that, like in this case, it's a mobile game, so you go to a mobile company.
And I just have a problem with which company they went to.
Right?
Yes.
And then the other thing about it is you did hype up the fact that you were going to have some Diablo information that was coming out, and the last thing that you end with is this information.
Yep.
Not
it's the only
start with
Diablo.
it and end well or somewhere in the middle, make it just kind of a pass-through type deal. Hey, while you're waiting on Reforged and the new vanilla thing to come out, hey, here you go, play this, and move on. But no.
Or, you could have been like, here's the mobile game that we've been working on for Diablo. And whilst we can't show you anything, know that we are working on Diablo this project. Or, like Diablo 4, just throw up a screenshot, like Chicken said. It's the same thing that Bethesda did with Elder Scrolls 6 and the Starfall or whatever it is that they announced, where it was just the title of the game and a screenshot.
And all of us went nuts.
Yeah, everybody's like,
I was praying that he would have been like, as he was getting ready to walk off stage, he's like, oh yeah, one more thing.
And then just
do that and then just walks off, and then the fucking crowd just erupts and screams and everybody starts fainting and whatnot. That's all you had to do.
Because,
that's it.
The rumor is that they had other Diablo announcements and that those announcements got pulled at the last minute because they weren't ready to be shown. But pulling them last minute after you've created hype and only putting out the people to talk about the mobile game, you basically threw those people to the wolves. You said, this is the year of Diablo. Get hype for Diablo stuff. The Diablo announcement is something that you knew was going to go poorly. And then the way that those people handled it made it even worse. All you had to do was one screenshot with a Diablo 2 logo on it, or just have something that said D4. Not say anything else about it. Everybody would have spent all of this time that we're spending being upset about the Immortal thing. We would have spent theorizing about what was going to happen with the other things. But instead, this is where we're at.
That's all you left us with.
Yep.
And my thing is I'm one of those people that's like, all right, Diablo Immortal comes out, I'll probably check it out just to see what it is, because I don't really care, even though it's on mobile, that type thing. It's probably going to be microtransaction as hell. Have a nice fucking day. But at the same time, I'm going to give it the opportunity. At the same time, this is the worst fucking presentation idea ever.
Well, and
this is the worst presentation that they have ever done at BlizzCon. Like, I've been watching for years and years at this point, and I've never heard the crowd boo.
Yes.
This was the first time ever I've heard the crowd boo.
Yep.
Which is
it's also one of the first times that we saw a slot on the schedule change from, it was supposed to be a Diablo Q&A, and that's all, to Diablo Immortal World and Q&A, which means they spent most of that presentation time, instead of letting it just be a Q&A, they spent it talking about what was going to be in Diablo Immortal, because they knew how the Q&A was going to go. And they knew that most of the questions were not going to be flattering, if there were any questions at all. There are several pictures floating around online where you can see where they had the Diablo Immortal demos set up, and there's literally nobody playing it. Because that's not what those people were there for. That is not the announcement you should have made at BlizzCon about Diablo.
That should not have been your main announcement.
No, you could have made that announcement had you dressed it better with stuff to kind of, be like, this is not the only thing we're working on. And yeah, they did kind of make a throwaway. We have several teams working on Diablo, different projects, but we can't talk about those. Okay, but you should have had something other than
you have an idea of when shit's going to be released, whether that's Diablo 4 or where it happens to be. You could put Diablo 4 2021 up on the damn screen. People would have fucking went nuts.
Yeah.
Like everybody would have went, okay, cool, they're working on it. All right, I'll play this in the meantime.
Or you could have even gone meme-y about it. Like, everybody's embracing memes right now. And one of the things that surrounds Blizzard is constantly Blizzard soon. Like, Blizzard soon, trademark. Because when Blizzard says soon, that's an indeterminate amount of time. That's not really soon in traditional sense. You could have even embraced that, put up a D4 logo, and put soon, trademark, underneath it. And everybody would have laughed, and that would have been everything we would have been talking about. Oh, did you see it? It's so funny. Blizzard's embracing their memes, blah, 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 blah.
Well, they definitely embrace their memes most of the time. So, if you guys get to release it anytime, we're going to go ahead and release it soon. Blizzard soon.
Blizzard
soon.
But instead they didn't. And to be fair, to give further context, I know we kind of just glossed over the fact that we said we're displeased with who they are having work on this for them. It's a company called NetEase, and it is a Chinese company, and in China especially, well, Asia in general, are more open to mobile gaming than we in the Western markets are. But even the people in that localized market that are usually okay with mobile games do not like this company because of how they treat their players. They have the nickname of Pig Farm, and they basically microtransaction the crap out of you. They strangle the gameplay in order for you to want to pay for everything, and everything like this. So it's the wrong company to start with, and not to mention, it's kind of
the MZ of China.
Yeah, I mean, like, and basically the Diablo game is going to be kind of a clone of a game that NetEase already has out in China. So it's almost like taking the super easy way out and giving a half-assed kind of deal. And I know that they talked about, we've got all of these great things for the Diablo world. Look at this ability. Look at this ability. Look at these things. That it's so cool. And it's like, that would be cool if it was in a core Diablo game, and it is things that people want in a Diablo game. And here's where one of the PR missteps came in their presentation, is during one of the Q&As, somebody actually asked about that. These are mechanics that we have asked for in game. We're just wondering if these mobile mechanics will transition over to PC when you have another game. And the guy's response was, well, you all have phones, don't you? You can play it. It's like, we all have PCs. That's why we're here at the Diablo thing. That's why I'm asking if this will transition to that. I wasn't even being a smartass, but thank you for your response. So they didn't handle any of this well.
Yeah, PR-wise, it's
no. They were very defensive and cagey about it as soon as there was no, like, usually when you have an announcement at BlizzCon especially, you get some reaction out of the crowd. They announced the Immortal, and there was, like, nothing. Everybody
I've never
was just
heard
like,
a crowd so quiet.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when he came out, people were fucking losing their mind. They're, like, so fucking stoked. And then he shows off Diablo Immortal, and the crowd is seriously going, like...
Yeah, everybody's like, is this for real? Is this it? Is there more?
He knew he was going to be thrown to the wolves. He may have already been in the defensive position from the start.
I think he was, and I think that's part of why this went poorly.
No. If you watch that part, he comes out with energy, and you can, like, watch it in his face as it goes on. He starts drooping. His body language stiffens up a bit, and you can actually see him getting physically
himself it's going poorly.
Yeah, like, these guys are not responding. Like, most of the time in the presentations, you'll, like, say something like big news and whatnot, and then you'll cut for a second, let the audience reply.
Yeah, there's
nothing.
no...
Like, he would just stop talking and kind of look, and nothing. The audience was just staring back at him going,
when they did the Q&A session, they didn't, like, the next day, they didn't cut to shots of the audience very often because there was just no reason to. I mean, it was not going to help their case. They uploaded the trailer on YouTube, took it down, and re-uploaded it 3 times because of the disparity between... That is not the right word! Discrepancy between the likes and dislikes, and the fact that it was so disliked. They started deleting comments. I mean, which added fuel to the fire that people were already upset about, and they took something that could have been a non-issue had it been displayed better and turned it into the biggest dumpster fire of the conference. And
biggest dumpster fire of a BlizzCon ever.
Yeah. Blizzard usually doesn't have this kind of problem on their hands. They handle things very well, even if it's not announcements that everybody loves. It usually doesn't get this kind of backlash behind it.
But this is the first time that the community actually feels like they were backhanded. Like, seriously. A drought from last year, and then... Get ready, it's Diablo's year. All right, we're ready. Okay, manage expectations, because they released that post earlier, and they're like, okay, we're managing, we're good, but we still can't wait to see what you have to show us. And this is it. Is it.
Part of it didn't help too that the way that there was some coverage around it afterwards. There were some journalists screaming about, like, oh, you entitled man babies are just crying because this is not what you wanted, and blah blah blah, man children grow up. Well, first of all, this is not an argument about gender. This is not a man baby issue. There are plenty of other ladies in the crowd or completely adult, rational people that have a problem with this. But when you start throwing around terms like that, you're just slinging mud for the sake of slinging mud, which made it an even bigger deal. So it's just one misstep that has compounded into a huge, just dirty issue. So hopefully Blizzard can do something to kind of patch the goodwill back in, and be like, we're sorry. We know that this is not what you were looking for, and we, didn't handle it the best way possible. We're, going to move forward in a more positive light, and we'll try to, make this up to you, essentially. It's not like you have to offer us free products or, bribe us to be happy with you again. But it's just acknowledging that there was a mishandling of the situation would be okay. So, that was a big, fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. But luckily we had a lot of good stuff. WoW Classic, Ash, the new stuff for the Overwatch things. There was a new Hearthstone expansion announced, which I didn't watch at all because I don't play Hearthstone.
Called the
Raskahan's Rumble.
Yeah,
event.
it's a troll-based one.
Rusticons.
Yeah.
Rusticons Rumble. It's all about Guramashi Arena.
Yes. Which is another place that I didn't venture because every time we went there, we just did not do well. So, that is from World of Warcraft, obviously, and it's making its move over to Hearthstone. So, somebody breaking your house, Oak? Oh, no. I'm just kidding.
Do what?
I said somebody breaking into your house.
No, my children just got home. My child's just got home.
Child's
Your child.
plural.
So I was
All
telling
the
them to close the
childs.
door.
Well, anyway, so I'm glad that there was some nice stuff to balance out some of the not so nice. Sorry, Diablo crowd. I know that's not what you wanted at all, and I 100% understand. I feel ya.
It is the year that the Diablo got shafted.
Yes. I was gonna let Oak do the wrap up, but he just went AFK. So, what else do you guys want to talk about for the next few minutes until he gets back? We'll stall until he gets back so we don't have to try to stumble through our own exit.
Okay, there he's back.
So nothing.
We'll just edit this part out.
Yeah, right. None of this gets edited once it's live. Sucks to be you.
Why?
Well, is there anything else to add to any of this?
No, I'm good.
If not,
Yeah.
then Oak, wrap us up.
We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week in Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. Check me out personally at MWOaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slineham.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Back a pick.
Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube, where she's still currently playing through Silent Hill 2. We
Still.
don't care that we're past Halloween,
It's still scary. Still working
Yeah.
on it, you know.
and
It
she's
happens.
fun to watch. Why would you care? Watch.
I
Watch
scare
anytime you-
myself, okay? Editing videos, you'd think that I would be like past the shock of it because I just played it, so I'm editing. I scare myself in the editing. Ah! Guys can
Chicken
watch me
just
be a
needs to
chicken.
get those little like pop things that the 4th of July, and just
Oh, yeah.
every once in a
Those
while,
little poppers?
when
I
Griff's
would
playing,
just
just
probably
throw them in there on
murder
the
him.
floor.
You gotta like whip those things at the ground to make them pop.
Well,
Plus, they
the
leave
pins,
stuff all
if
over our
it's hard-
floor.
Too funny.
Or if you're brave enough, just if you throw it hard enough against the wall, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they could pop.
Baka, no.
No, Baka. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313, where you can watch Chicken Sunday through Thursday, usually around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where he plays lots of video games, a lot of Overwatch, stuff like that. So
Darksiders this month.
Oh, that's right. You got Darksiders.
Darksiders this
That's
month.
right.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So got some
'Cause
single
3's
player stuff
coming
going on.
up. Yay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can't wait for Darksiders 3. Oof.
So yeah, gotta get those through, and luckily Darksiders 3 is coming out. THQ Nordic reviving the entire
Come on.
thing. Oh, thank God! Thank
I
God,
know.
it'll be nice for sure. And then also make sure you go to mixer.com/MDVOaktree. You can check out me. Then I'm usually there just about every day of the week. I just take random days off. So if you're in my Discord, pay attention to that. If you're not, that's fine too. Follow me on Twitter. Yay! And you'll know. Other than that, I think we're good. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
Back up.
See, there are other people
guys.
here besides me.